Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Raid. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I want to discuss some practical applications of double or triple dipping on rewards, particularly when you are in a fusion or fragment summoning event. So right now we're still in this Marinix fusion. This is kind of the beginning of this, and a lot of people are like, oh man, I don't want to waste resources on this champion if the champion is only okay. So the point of this discussion isn't if this champion is good or not. Like, I think it's decent, but I have couple other videos that will probably be linked below, or they're on the channel at least, that cover my thoughts on this champion. But I want to show you, and in practical terms, something I am actually going to be doing right now to gain extra value from what I'm putting into this fusion. So this isn't just for the purpose of making a self-plug, but I've done a couple other videos where I showed Ultimate Death Knight using him in Brutal and Nightmare Clan Boss. And I said if I could, I would try to get him into an Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. And so I finally found a team in which I wanted to use him on. Now, he isn't necessarily the key function of that team, but I think his kit, particularly his attack down and his shield and heal, could help keep this team alive long enough to get two or maybe even just 3 key on that Ultra Nightmare team. So I have to go after that team now, and I'm going to use this event as a chance to go after it. Right now, I am in the middle of a champion training event. I'm in the middle of an artifact enhancement event, and I'm in the middle of a dungeon divers event. So leveling up champions, leveling up artifacts, this is a great time to do that, and getting lots of extra benefit. And then of course dragon as well in the event I need to go after some more gear. For this, I'm going to be focusing on the artifacts and the champions. So the team that I had found, I was checking out this Deadwood Jedi, his little team builders, and I found this kind of overall 2-for-1 team that didn't have anything specifically built in it. So the champion I'm going to be using is Apothecary in order to do my speed boost. I'm going to be using Doom Priest as the lead. I'm going to be using Sandless, which I have as the buff extender. And then for my other DPS, I thought that I would go with a Frozen Banshee. So as you'll see, my Frozen Banshee is not an amazing gear, and she isn't level 60 and 6-starred yet. This obviously needs to happen before I'm going to be able to take her in a meaningful way on a non-unkillable team. Additionally, and even more significant for this, I'm going to go the quickest way I know to show out champions that I have is through this Faction Guardians. My Apothecary is level 30. So Apothecary is going to need to get leveled all the way to 6-star as well. Because again, we're going to need the speed, the gear slots, the HP, and all that to keep him alive in that non-unkillable team. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go through, gear these guys, and I'm going to show you some practical application as to the value I got out of that. Before I get into what I've actually accomplished, I kind of want to show you where I'm at on these events. My Artifact Enhancement event, I have barely touched. We'll see, I have not spent a lot of points. When I come back to this scene later in this video, it will only be what I have done relative to get these champions going. And then for my champion training event, we'll see that I'm a third of the way through, or a little bit more, of getting the prosecutor I need, but I plan on going after this legendary skill tome anyway. And basically everything I'm going to be doing is going to be getting those additional 3, 4, and 5-star champions I need to level these guys up. And I already have some food and stuff for that, so I won't get as many points as it might seem. I'm not necessarily going to use all these chickens, but I have some food ready to go into these. So I'm going to get a 3-star to 6-star and a 5-star to 6-star with some additional resources already there, so it won't see as many points as I would have if I was going at it fresh. And you'll get a chance to see what this double dipping is actually doing, how much progress I'm making towards those events, towards this new team, and towards the fusion all at the same time. All right, so we've done a time skip into the future. You are now in the day after when you started watching that video, and we'll see that my Frozen Banshee is now 6-starred. I have not taken her all the way to level 60 yet. That will most likely happen while I get her masteries, of which she does not have any yet. So the masteries will come with the experience when I go through there. Same thing with Apothecary. We are 6-starred. He will need to get his masteries as well, and we will take him to level 60 through the Minotaur's Labyrinth as we get his masteries. We'll see that our gear here is all level 16. You know, some of this probably came pre-leveled up, but obviously a lot of it had to be leveled up for this event. I did go through Hell Hades Optimizer to get the speeds and rough gearing that I needed. I didn't take anything off other champions, so this is all gear that was lying there and mostly needed to still be upgraded. You'll see not everything is enchanted yet. I did want to see how they performed with just the speeds at the level they needed. And now let's go look at the events and see what I got out of those. So champion training, I was about a third of the way through previously. I think I was around 3,500 points, and we'll see now that I've gained close to 10,000 points getting those 2 6-star champions. I have what I need for this reward. I have almost legendary skill tome, and in the meanwhile, I gained gems, soulstone, rank charms, potions, soul essence, ancient shard, epic skill tome, and I'm very close to a legendary skill tome. So I was going to take those champions to 6-star anyway, and because I did them during this event, these rewards are all essentially free, including the blue that I need for the fusion. That's free rewards. Those champions had to go to 6-star for the team regardless. For the artifact enhancement event, we'll see that I had, I don't know if I'd actually even got the 100-point reward there last time, but just leveling the gear up for those champions, I am now almost all the way to my prosecutor, also absolutely for free. Nothing that I wasn't going to spend just to get those champions ready. And since they're not quite working in the speed tune yet, I'm going to have to go back and tweak them a little bit more. So we're going to get some more points out of them before the end of this. I am 85% of the way to the prosecutor for absolutely zero reward or zero effort that I wasn't going to have to spend regardless, just maybe at a slightly different time. And of course, with that, I'm now very close to 2 of my 16 champions that I need for this fusion. Again, for free. No additional effort, no additional cost. I didn't have to use a single point of energy or gems that I wasn't going to use. So I am now a chunk of the way through towards this fusion without having to do anything that I wouldn't have already been doing. And that's how I look at all of these fusions. Again, this will be different than a fragment summon because you will have to ascend and level up this food, and the levels you put in here could be counted as wasted. But I'm willing to spend that energy and currency on a guaranteed legendary. And for me, even the legendary is really mediocre. I like this champion, but even if they're actually bad, that is not a lot of resources for a legendary. That's a pretty good deal, particularly for someone who may find a niche somewhere else. Dragon tournament, obviously, I'm going to go kill some dragons. I need more gear. I need more speed gear. My my arbiter is really slow. I'm going through dragons no matter what. I'm going to max this out regardless. This reward is just going to be free as I go through those dragons. Oh, another thing that is kind of worth mentioning. Almost all of the silver that I spent for the artifact enhancement event to get that gear up, I earned doing campaign to level up the champions that I got leveled up. So it's like quadruple dipping almost. Leveling up the champions gave me champion training points. Then getting those champions leveled up gave me silver that I was able to use to level up the gear for the champions, which gave me my artifact enhancement event points. And then all of that gives me what I need for the fusion. So when you look at these and look at every other part of the game, how can I double dip on these? How can I get extra rewards? And I didn't even mention this in the previous half, but most of these points, minus about 400 to 500 energy worth of dragon, has come from that champion training event also. So I got the majority of a third prosecutor from just getting 2 champions leveled so that I can make a type of clan boss team. So when you're considering going after these, obviously, if it's going to take too much time and it's gonna stress out your week or your weekend or whatever, if you need to take a break and step back and not go after one of these, that is excellent. Great reason, great thing to do. You know, take all the U time you need. If your account isn't going to be able to do these quickly and efficiently, so you need to skip these fusions and just get your account to a point where you can actually go after. Obviously, I leveled up 2 champions to 6-star in an evening. If you can't do that, and that's going to be be a problem, if it's going to take too much time to get the points you need, then of course skip. But otherwise, don't consider it a waste of resources, almost regardless of the quality of the champion. Consider how you can use those resources the most effectively. So I have the summon rush coming up. We still have time left on the champion training event. I still have points to gain here. When this summon rush happens, I'm going to pull most likely a lot of green shards. Those green shards, I'm going to summon 4 points because I don't want to summon very many of these. And those are just going to get straight up fed. So the uncommons are going to get fed into, or the commons are going to get fed into uncommons leveled up just as extra food padding for later. That's going to get me more points for my champion training and more points for my summon rush. So I'm again going to double dip. These shards are going to give me champion training points, and then both of those are going to be additional rewards. Look at that in all aspects of this game. I know this video has been kind of rambly. I hope it has been at least moderately entertaining, but mostly that it doubles down on the double dipping. Don't do almost anything in this game. Anything you can avoid doing, don't do it unless you can get extra benefit out of it. You know, run dragons while you have a dragon tournament up. Run Fire Knight when the Fire Knight tournament up. You're just getting extra rewards, and you need that gear anyway. You need that gear somewhere. You need accessories from Spider. Do it during a tournament. Get more stuff. Obviously, when this Ice Golem tournament comes up, I'm going to run Ice Golem. Although I am going to check the schedule and see if it makes sense to hold Ice Golem for another Dungeon Divers event. I don't know. Got to compare that. That is something that's going to come in a future video when I actually discuss how to go after fusion and fragment events in the most efficient way possible. This one's a little tease of that, and it does cover some of those aspects, but I just want to change how your mindset, how you look at these and this game, but how you look at these fusions, and don't go, how many resources is this going to take? How many gems and how much energy is it going to take to go after one of these fusions? Think instead, how can I use my resources the most effectively so that this fusion is almost free? Of course, you have to get your account to a certain point before it's going to be not kind of a bog on your time. So that's a different goal. Again, we'll be mentioning that other video in a later date. But if you're able to do these events, if you have the time and the speed of your account runs to do them, then for a fusion, the only quote-unquote wasted resources is the energy or brews and the potions to get these champions to 40, leveled up, fused to 50, and then the food that goes into that. And that's all that is getting actually used straight for this fusion. And I will gladly trade a few dozen chickens and a couple thousand energy at that point directly for a otherwise guaranteed legendary. And then the fragment events, the fragment summon events, don't have this fusion element, so they're straight up free. They're straight up free. They're just going to give you double rewards if you're doing them at the same time. For me personally, I save most of my stuff. I don't push really hard outside of these fusion events. They're up once a month for 2 weeks. They're up basically half of the time. You hoard for a while, and then you spend. You spend here, and you spend in CVC. And I don't mean spend money. I just mean spend your resources, spend your time. And I guess if you're going to spend money, also spend that there as well. So, before I ramble on even longer about this, do you have any thoughts? Is there anything I missed out? Any other ways to double dip? Leave double dipping tips in the comments. If I missed them, I might include them in a future video. But even if not, somebody else might read those and find some way to help their account, help their time be more efficient. Of course, this has been an alternate image raid video. If you liked, if you loved it, sub. And if you dislike, smash that dislike button, as it is still engagement for the channel. And as always, have a great day.